Falls City Council to order. Any agenda additions from staff?
None for me, no.
None tonight there. Any agenda additions from council? Seeing none, we'll move on. Approve the consent agenda as written, or if somebody would like something pulled from it.
So move.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as written signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Let's see here, we have, Ryan is here and might as well come on up and, we'll talk the Squid Fest updates. Welcome.
Thanks. Okay, I just wanted to go over a quick update for Squid Fest for all you guys, just so you guys are aware of what's happening at Memorial Park, and if you have any concerns about anything, just let me know and try to work all that out. So currently we have just over 30 vendors registered. So they're planning on being set up along the trail next to the WPA shelter, kind of in the shade next to the trees. So this is kind of a replacement for the Makers Market.
Okay.
The Squid Fest is. So we're gonna have a couple of food trucks that are gonna be set up in the little gravel loop by the Riverside Trail, and then there are gonna be a bunch of art activities, raccoon firing, kid face painting, balloon making, some other stuff that's happening too. That's the kids petting zoo. There's gonna be a reading circle as well, guided nature walk with Nicole Zempel, and the DNR is coming out with their fish survey boats, so they're gonna be doing like actual fish surveys and talking about fish biology, doing kind of environmental interpretation stuff, and they'll be there all day. They're also bringing out a stream morphology table to teach about erosion and the effects of water on the landscape. Tamara Isfeld is kind of working with students and interns to put on the Memorial Park 100th anniversary historic representation. So there'll be some displays on that out there as well. So we're kind of planning on working with PBS right now to utilize their parking lot for overflow parking, because parking out there is kind of limited. So we're gonna be having a shuttle going back and forth from there. And we're asking to be able to put up no parking signs Riverside between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So that gives people that are out there in the mornings usually their chance to park there and go on their walks and stuff. And then just have a couple of cones with like the barricade stuff to put out. And then for the vendor parking, I'm not quite sure if this is something I would have to talk to the county about, but we were thinking by the old bathhouse in that area. So they would come set up and then we would direct them to park in that area. So that's just kind of my quick update on it. So
I think that old bathhouse area, that is county property there.
No, we were given that property.
Oh, were we?
Yep, so we acquired that.
We actually put signs up there a long time ago when people were fishing. I mean, it's not a big deal for the squid, but remember, everybody would park their cars there. and
Yeah,
then
so we
fish.
put the signs of no parking there, because we had people doing that, yeah. But we do own that property now.
I think them signs are gone.
Yes, they're currently not
Couple
there.
years, I think, we haven't seen them, I haven't seen them.
Yeah, we haven't had a parking issue there though,
No, I don't see
recently.
anybody parked there.
there's like maybe every once in a while I have to go talk to someone that's parked there, and
Do you think we should put the signs back,
I
or is
don't
it not needed?
I don't think so. There's
Okay.
not a huge issue with people parking there.
Okay.
So that's just my quick update on it. Any questions or concerns?
Okay, thank you.
No,
Ryan, what was that first item that you mentioned, raccoon something?
Raccoon firing,
Okay,
so it's like, they use different organic items while they're firing clay, and it creates a unique pattern
really?
while they're firing.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
yeah,
Could you use the parking up on top where the tent area? I don't see many tents up there for that day only. I mean, that's a pretty good sized parking lot up there.
it is. I actually didn't even think about that, but.
You have to move some rocks though, 'cause I think you got the rocks laid in there, so
I
nobody.
think you can still get vehicles in there if I'm not there's a couple paths to get in there, ain't there?
It's pretty tight, but you could, I mean, it'd be.
I'm just saying that's a lot of space.
Yeah,
It's not getting used that day probably.
that's not a bad idea, actually. But currently, yeah, we're working with PBS to set up a shuttle back and forth too, so, and the county museum as well, people can park at. But, yeah, I could see what I could do this week and,
I'd maybe move some rocks, cause I just
Yeah.
remember like when we had
Yeah.
Smig Fest, a gal parked on a rock and actually got her car stuck on it,
yeah,
cause she didn't see it,
yeah.
if you're,
Yeah, I mean, take a skid loader and move a couple
Yeah,
rocks or
just-
something so they
right.
can get in and get out. Or
Right,
come
that-
in one side and out the other and
right,
the skid loader and move them back to where they belong.
exactly.
Cause
Yeah.
that's the same day as the air show, correct?
It is, so we're,
It's gonna be pretty hectic.
yeah, we're thinking that maybe there might be a lot of crossover from that too, potentially, so that's why we contacted PBS and we're like, hey, I don't know if there's gonna be enough parking out here, so.
Sure.
But
Good
yeah,
idea.
that's a really good idea to open up that area, so.
All right, very good. Any other questions for Ryan? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, then we'll go back up to the top here. We got, reports 5A, Kilowatt Community Center.
No council action here, just information enclosed.
I just want to point out on that, in the minutes there, the agenda comments, they got, their contracts are up 64 contracts this year compared to over last year at this time, so very good. Very good. All right, then we'll drop down to 5B, Utility Commission.
Just reports enclosed, that day we met, or we're gonna meet, that was the day when it was anticipated that severe storm coming through, so just as a precaution and not meeting and, it came and we would have a bunch of hail on vehicles and other things, we decided not to meet that evening, but we still enclosed the reports.
All right, thank you. Now we'll drop down to 6A, some motions here. We got the bridge lighting request.
Yeah, receive this, it's from the National School Choice Awareness Week or Foundation, recognizing from January 25th to the 31st with colors of red and yellow. There's some information enclosed on that. I did reach out to the school, just making them aware we received this request, and if there was any concerns or, with that, approving, and they said no, not at all, to go ahead and approve it, so. I talked to Rich on that,
Okay,
so.
anybody have any questions on that?
Would it be a day or the whole month?
It'd be January 25th through the 31st.
Oh, I'm sorry. did it-
Nope.
Okay,
Sorry, in staff notes it does.
okay.
Yep. So just those days and it would be red and yellow.
Okay. Any other questions, or if anybody would like to make a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. We got a couple resolutions here. We got 6B1, the airport runway lighting upgrade grant.
So in the airport CIP plan, we have in there to replace the runway lighting and taxiway lighting that was originally installed or last installed in 1995. It's quite an outdated system. It's been hard to find replacement, parts, and then actually in some areas, we've started, having issues with wiring, especially the age of it and even melting. However, so originally what I was planning to bring before council, as you can see from the enclosed, we submitted it to the state. The state did approve the project and we were awarded the grant funds. However, since placing this in the council packet, there was some back and forth conversations with our engineer, our Bolton and Mank engineer, airport engineer, Silas Parmer, was talking with the Department of Aeronautics. They recently bid out other airports for the same project, and they observed that the prices came back significantly higher compared to the engineer's estimate. And when Silas had further conversations with the bidders of why the prices are up, the response was very consistent in that they said that the tariffs on the lighting components has attributed to cost increases. The tricky part is taking in those numbers and updating the estimate would add a little over another $300,000. And per the Department of Aeronautics policy, when a grant is awarded and there's an increase in costs, they can only fund it for an additional so much percentage, up to 15%, and that exceeds that. So Luke with the Department of Aeronautics stated that they are gonna do some checking to see if they can make this project happen, make it work, but he can't guarantee it. There was a conversation of, maybe worst case, that they approve for the engineering work to be completed and do a smaller grant, and then have the grant the following year for the full project. So at this time, I am waiting for more information from the Department of Aeronautics of what is the best recommendation for us to do. Of course, ideally, we would want the grant funding, so if that's not possible, I would recommend to do the engineering. So at this time, I would say let's place this on hold till I hear more. So no council action for tonight yet.
A lot of good information there, but too bad.
Yeah, certainly was
But,
unexpected.
Okay. Well, then we'll drop down to 6B2, the election funding here.
So there was a letter enclosed. This is funding that Chippewa County received. Chippewa County actually received it last year, so council may recall this, that council last year did vote to let the county have the funding, because it's used for maintenance of the equipment that they cover those costs for, is essentially what it is. But they received in total $12,399, and it's broken out for the various communities enclosed here too, if you want to review, but looking for approval to allow them to keep those funds to continue maintaining the electric equipment.
Anybody have any questions or discussion? Okay. Anybody like to make a motion? Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? All right. Let's see here where we're at. Now we can go down to 7A here, this joint pole attachment agreement.
Yes, hang on give me 1 second. So a little bit of background on this. I have been, back in 2020, it was brought to my attention that the agreement that we have for pole attachments on our electrical lines for CenturyLink's infrastructure was stemming from an agreement that was last approved in 1983, I believe. And actually was originally with the United Telephone Company, and then CenturyLink ended up acquiring that infrastructure and assumed the duties of under that contract. And CenturyLink, also per discussion here, is referred to as Lumen now, Lumen Technologies. And looking at the agreement, it's outdated, you know, we do receive, revenue for the attachments on our poles, and there's a little over 100 poles. I need to double check what that exact number is, but it's over 100. It's been a while since I looked at that number. I apologize, but we do receive revenue, and the revenue is, you know, significantly different than what we should be receiving in today's dollars. It was like $8 per pole versus 15. So I've been working with CenturyLink to try to get this agreement updated, to also have another pole count. So you actually, as part of these agreements, you can go through and actually, you're supposed to every so often meet with the company and go through and actually count the poles to make sure your count's accurate. And that was last done in the 90s. So it's been quite some time. So I was trying to clean this all up. However, I think I've heard every excuse in the book. COVID was used as an excuse. They just weren't doing it. We finally, just pressuring and pushing and pushing and pushing, I finally got them to agree to an updated draft of a new contract. That was back in late '23, early '24, and then I would get well, I'm on vacation, when I get back, I'll put it in and actually, council approved it in '24 too, so you may recall seeing that document. I did enclose the old 1983 document, but not the new one. And I get well, I'm on vacation, you know, their attorney person who's working with it. When I get back, I'll put it in the DocuSign and get it queued up for signatures, nothing. I've worked through, I don't know, I've lost count, maybe at least 5 different local representatives of CenturyLink trying to get this, I'll send it up to my supervisor. Just nothing. And of course, I'm visiting with other communities, and, you know, as a result of this, we have not received any payment now from them in 4 years. That's the equivalent of $20,165. Last time I pushed, you know, we still haven't gotten payment. Well, we're getting, you know, we want to get that new agreement in place, and then we'll do back pay. Nothing. And then recently, to adding even more to the mix here, I received a letter, and I copied that letter as well, that AT&T is now becoming the successor for the infrastructure for CenturyLink. So I reached out to the contact, and I said that the city's not interested, because they were wanting to enter into an agreement with us. And I said, the city's not interested in entering into any agreement until this is resolved and we get our 4 years worth of payment. So if you are in negotiation with CenturyLink, you need to share that with them, because they need to pay. Of course, heard nothing. So after visiting with a couple of different attorneys that specialize in this area, we drafted the enclosed letter. Depending if council wants to go this route, I can keep trying to work with AT&T, but I kind of feel, since trying to push this since 2020, I'm not getting anywhere. And I think I recommend to council at this time to maybe go to the next level, which would be to notify them that they're in default of the agreement. They need to pay within 30 days. If not, the city will, and I'm partially reading here, so bear with me, the city will suspend the company's rights to use their poles. After 90 days, they'll have to remove their infrastructure, and if they don't remove the infrastructure, we'll remove it at their cost. I don't know if council wants to go that far, but that is an option.
I'll wake them up, tell them there's a
Absolutely.
late fee every day past such and such a date on top
like-
of the 20,000 they owe us.
Just like they do to their customers,
Yeah,
you know?
State's Attorney General been informed of any of this? Because they love going after public utilities. And it could be happening in other cities too.
I've not, but I have heard this happening. I know in at least with some Wisconsin cities this has been happening, or even Colorado, but.
Regulatory hoops they have to go through, even when they did the name change, a lot of that stuff. Had to go through a bunch of hoops.
I can reach out. I have not at this time. But I'm happy to reach out to whoever, because I find this to be ridiculous, and I've spent
Yep.
way more time than need be on this. And,
time to nail them to the cross.
Yep.
you know, worst case, it would possibly require legal action if we need to go that route, but what we're proposing in here is you have, so many days to pay us, and if not, then get your stuff off our poles, and it's not off, we're gonna remove it.
They would have shut their customer off in 30 days, so.
They're no different than anybody else, so I mean, that's the way we gotta treat them, I think, and
And-
we've been working on this for 5 years, it's an insult, and I mean, we just need to deal with it. And
And for the sake of their customers who utilize the service, that's why I waited so long, because I've been trying to do this without going this route, but we're here.
we start dropping their infrastructure and they start, not being able to service their customers, you'll start to get some reaction.
Sure will.
So, originally, what I wanted to do is go before the PUC, but the PUC does not regulate pole attachment agreements.
Okay,
So I found that out, so I could try that idea, Scott, I didn't think of that, but I was gonna try to go the PUC route, but I was told that you can't, they don't regulate pole attachments.
either way, we got this, letter drafted now
Yeah, so
and
ultimately,
things, so we could start with that no matter what, and I think we gotta get moving on something.
Yeah, I would definitely contact the AG, because he's gone after
okay,
CenturyLink in the past for charging for services that were never requested or used or anything like that, you know.
I'll make the call, sure.
Okay. And the same thing there, meanwhile, I mean, do we, go ahead and get this letter going?
I would recommend that. If
Yeah.
council approves it, I'll send it
Yeah.
off via email and by hard mail. To
Okay.
AT&T is where I'm sending
Right,
at this point.
thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before council?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.